Hello, hello, hello. Well, today I am starting very early. It's almost 2 a.m. on the morning, March 18th, 2021. This is officially day 11 of the Node project, Node web application project. I've been using Node.js properly from 11 days now. This is my number 11 day. I'm pretty happy with it. I've been bumping around issues and problems here and there, but nothing that I cannot actually resolve on my own. I do got a lot of resources, courses, Stack Overflow, tutorials, etc. So I am never stuck for long. But anyway, so what am I going to be doing today? Well, let's take a look. Okay, let me see really quickly here. Okay, this is social media. There we go. I was taking a look into Next.js because I've been seeing being thrown around over and over, and I was getting curious about it. But I believe at this point I'm not going to get into this right now. I do have a lot of work to do before anything else, but never mind that, I guess. So the first thing. So first, oh come on, there, there we go. Let's see. Okay. Maybe a git push. I'm going to push the changes to the merge request. I'm far from done. So I'm going to npm start to start the server and see where we are at. Here. There we go. So last time I was working on this email form basically. You should be able to basically just fill out these information fields. The email is mandatory, is required, and probably just select a couple of values here. And this form is actually successfully sending email. Now, I do have some issues, like here, for example. I'm using the same form on two different pages. So I need to work with the routes, work with the controllers, and basically comply with the model view controller design pattern. A lot of the code I already do is basically just testing code. So the form is sending the email correctly. I'm very happy with that. Yet, what I want to achieve now is to basically refactor all of this router post code here into its own controller, and basically make a call of this code from a proper controller file. You see, this is the middleware that is in charge of not just sending the email, but getting the information from the request in order to send the email properly. And this is basically a task of refactoring and also correcting some behavior, because here it doesn't matter what form I am working on. I'm going to be redirected to the same contact page, and this is not the desired behavior. If I send an email here with the send button, I'm getting redirected here. That's okay because I am on the contacto page. But here on the inscripciones page, whenever I send an email, I'm being redirected back to contacto page, although I should be redirected just here inside the inscripciones page. So in order to fix that, I need to do several things. The first one will be to, instead of making a redirect here to contacto all the time, I should be able to basically make a difference between um, what action is the form on the view is going to take. So what I mean by that is this: if I go to the contact form EGS, this is a partial file that only contains the form. Here we can see that we are using the contacto page. Maybe here, and considering that I'm going to be, this is a partial file, and on the original router, I'm going to be using, we open the router for this file. Let's see, on the routers and the routes, there is just one file basically. If we go to the contacto get method here, I am using a controller called get contacto. If I go to the controller file and I look for the get contacto, let's see, get contacto. There we go. So this is the get contacto code. You can see here that I'm passing an object here as part of the render method here, and I'm passing the path contacto. So basically here, I always know the actual path being used, and I'm passing this value before because not because what I'm going to do right now, but because I use this in order to know what page is actually being rendered at the time. And this path allows me to highlight the main menu option that is currently being selected. That's the purpose of this. Yet I may use this path attribute in order to know where I should be able to redirect once the work is done. But before that, I may like to create controllers here. So I'm not going to create the controller export right here. I don't think this is a good place to do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create, for example, a new file called email.javascript. Or may I say not just email, because it's not really email. I may like to call this contact dash form. You see, because that's basically what this is going to be controlling in the end, the contact form. You see? Perhaps I should rename this in the future, but at this point, this should work. And I'm going to copy a single middleware export here. I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to create a post contacto export. And inside this middleware, I'm going to say, you know what? Here, I'm not going to actually render something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send the email, basically. You know, in order to do that, first let's go into delete the contents, and if we go back to here to the static content route, this is not even inside the controller form. So basically, what I want to do is copy all of this, the entire anonymous function, all of this, and cut it. There we go. It's been cut. Go back to the contact form controller file. Let's save it. You see? And now I'm going to paste the entire logic, the entire code inside. Wait. Let me Let me undo something here. Maybe all of this should be deleted. There we go. And paste it. And there we go. So now, the post contacto export is going to contain this middleware function. You see, it's getting a request, a response, and the next method, the next function. And here, I'm basically just refactoring the entire code that I'm going to be pulling out from here. Let me see, on the route file, I just got it, the entire thing here. But I'm not even going to use this code over here. I'm going to cut it here, say this, and I'm going back to the route folder. I'm going to create a new folder, a new file. And I'm going to name this contact-form.js. And this is sharing the same name for the sake of consistency. The difference is going to be that I'm going to use the routes folder in order to create a route for this file. I'm going to paste this here. And you can see that I am getting a post method here with the path method here. Instead of sending a middleware function directly here, implementing it here, I need to import it back. But first, let's see if I can go to the top here. You can see this. And actually, this code should be moved into the other one, including this, for example. But first, let's just copy all of. Let's just copy by steps. The first one is going to be inside this new contact form route file. I need to import the actual controller. So I'm going to say contact form controller. This is going to be the variable, and I'm going to require the contact dash form file inside the controller folder. I'm going to import the controller name contact form. So I'm importing this. This code is incomplete, but we are going to fix it right now. Let's see. So that's the first thing. If we go to the controller file, you can see here that I'm going to be sending the email, but some of these values are not going to be working. I need to fix the imports basically. Okay, now here, this is static content route. I'm going to require, I believe I'm going to require to include this couple of things, you know, these two imports and the node mailer. But first, we need to include the express require and the express router in order to actually use router down here, you know. What else do I need? I'm going to need the import for node mailer. Let's cut it from here because I'm no longer going to use it inside this file. And I'm not going to use it here, I believe, because this is a route file. I'm going to use it where? If I go to the controller for the contact form, I should be importing that here on the controller. Node mailer is going to be used here. I'm going to require node mailer for this. What else do I need here? Now, as part of the node mailer code, I need to refactor this code from here. I don't need it there. And I need to go to the controller file. You see here. Static, this is a route file. That's fine, I guess. Let's look for content for this is the view, this is the router, this is the controller. I need the static content controller. There we go. Here we only are importing a staff class from the staff model. I'm not going to be using that right here. Let's see. Here is the route. Okay, here's the controller. There we go. Maybe that was not a good idea. Down here. That will be a better idea, I guess. So what I did here, I moved the creation of the transporter constant into the controller file for the contact form. So contact-form.js inside the controller folder is going to contain basically the import for node mailer. I'm going to create a transporter for node mailer with the actual information that is required here. I wonder if I can use this environment. I think I do. I only need to import this as a process on the app.js file, so I guess it's okay. After this code here, I should be able to basically keep working with this code here because I'm just refactoring everything, you know. And inside this middleware function, I'm going to be sending an email right here. And that's it, basically. Okay, let me see. This is all well and good, but I haven't tested out. So I'm trying to make sense right here. Let me see. I wonder if, okay, it seems to be working. Maybe I may like to try this. That's fine. That's fine. It's rendering. That's one thing. The next thing will be to try to send the actual emails and see if I'm getting the emails into the inbox on the other side, you know. So let's see. Okay, so what do we have? Node mailer. This is inside the contact-form controller file. Creating the transporter here, setting up the account information. There is an export called post contacto. I'm not using this yet, so I may like to use it on the new route file here, like this. I cannot use it directly because I need to first do this. Copy this content form controller import down here, and now access the property with the dot and write in post contacto. I don't do this because I'm not going to execute the actual function or method. This is a function actually. I need to add it as a parameter. Actually, I need to send the entire function as a parameter inside the post method here of the router. Okay, contact information, post contacto, and that's fine. Now here, I'm going to go back to here maybe. You see? So here, I'm saying post contacto, and that's fine. I guess if I do something here, I would like to create another export that is going to be basically the same exact thing. So there is going to be some copy pasting here. I'm not going to be too worried about it because I'm doing pretty much the same thing on the other controller files here, you see? I'm basically just copy and pasting everything, but changing just the path in the end, like this. So maybe it's not going to be such a big sin anyway. Okay, let's get back to it. What I'm going to do, this needs to be defined just once, and it's going to be working for all the exports. What I'm going to do here is copy this entire export and create another one. There we go. But this is not going to be post contacto. This is going to be post inscripciones, because this should belong to a different page, basically, a different website, or may I say a web page. Here, I'm going to be using this export inside this controller file, not to redirect to back to contacto, because this is going to be for the inscripciones page. So I'm going to redirect to inscripciones. Inscripciones. I think that's the actual route. Let me just, there we go. This is the actual path here. So I'm going to, when I use this export, post inscripciones, I'm going to be redirecting to inscripciones after sending the email, obviously, or while sending the email, actually, down here, you know. And that should be it. Probably I'm going to delete all the console log up here. And I think I do have some down here, maybe. Or maybe just keep them. Maybe remove this console log. I'm going to keep them there just in case. Yet the idea is going to be, or probably the better approach will be to create a name function here, and a name, how do you call it? Middleware function, and adding the path parameter there, and maybe just instead of copy pasting everything twice, you know, maybe I should be able to refactor this further tomorrow, and or the next day. I don't know. Well, the thing is, I'm going to copy paste the same code. I'm just going to replace the redirect to, and I'm going to name it a different name. You know, this is going to be a different name. And what else do I need? Let me see. It's going to do pretty much the same thing with the difference that is going to be called from a different path. So how do we do that? Well, if we go to the contact for routes, we can see the post contacto here. Yet we are missing the order route. Let me see here. We are missing post inscripciones, which is basically going to be the same thing from here, the same path should be here. However, if we read the code for the contact form EGS file, let me see, where is it? Here, there we go. So here's the actual contact form. We can see that the action is going to be contacto. This is an EGS file, and I am already sending the path. And the path is going to be pretty much the same thing here. For example, if we go here, and we go to the controller file, let me see. Here is the controller file. I can see that the path already contains the actual current path that I need. So let's go back a little bit. So I'm using inscripciones, and instead of post contacto, I should say post inscripciones. Now, Visual Studio Code is actually suggesting me post inscripciones. They are two different post methods, basically post paths, and they are being redirected to do different controller functions here. Let's go back to the controllers. So post inscripciones is going to redirect back to inscripciones, but in order for this to work, the key will be here in the view. I need to replace this because it doesn't matter in what page am I going to be rendering this code. This is always going to be a contacto post method call. So I need to replace this, perhaps with some good old EGS code, you know, like this. So here, maybe it would be a good idea to use a ternary if statement, I believe it's called, which is basically I need a Boolean expression, then followed by question sign, and then I need to define what I'm going to return when true, then separate everything with a semicolon, and then write down what I want to return when false. Okay, so let's do that. So let's see if action path, which is an actual value, is equal to dash contacto, then, and I only have 2 pages that use this particular form, so I can do actually this. If path is equals to contacto, then, or may I say what is going to happen? And if this is true, you know, I may like to type here dash contacto. You see, what I'm doing here is making sure that if I'm coming from the contacto page, then the action should be contacto. If not, and this is going to be the new code here, if that's not the case, since I already only have two possible pages that use this form, I should say, you know what? If that's not the case, if contacto is not equals to the path, then I am assuming that the other option is going to be inscripciones. So send the path equals to inscripciones. Basically, the action should be dash inscripciones. With this code, let's save it, and we are going to figure things out here. Let's refresh. Well, first, before refreshing, let's try to inspect this code and look for the actual method here. You see, you can barely see it because it's very small, but on the action, I can see contacto. If I refresh this page, well, I am located on inscripciones page, so it doesn't really make too much sense. Yet, if I send an email, because this is the contacto action, I'm going to be redirected to the contacto page, even though I'm located inside the inscripciones page. But then again, I'm just going to refresh now. And I can see here that the path change, the action attribute changed to dash inscripciones. So the second I click send, I should be able to use the post method, and the action should be inscripciones, which means that my backend here, where is the controller? There we go. I'm going to land on the routes here. I'm going to land on this line here. This is the route. It's going to be a post method, yet instead of using the contacto path, I'm going to be using the inscripciones path. And here, I'm going to be executing this controller function called post inscripciones, which is this one. Let's see, what is post? This is post inscripciones. I'm going to be running this. I'm going to send the email and log the data, and I'm going to be redirecting back to inscripciones. And at the same time, and after that, I'm going to be, sending the email here. So all of this should work. And after that, I should be redirected to inscripciones. That's basically the idea. So I'm going to make a couple of tests first. Let me see. GoDaddy email login. There we go. So here is a previous test, you know. Let's go back to the form. I am on inscripciones. So I may like to fill this info. And okay. I am refactoring the code. Let's see if this actually works. We can see here the terminal. Here, I should be able to see the data. So let's try it out. And it didn't work. Let's see why. Not found. So what happened there? It reads that I think I know what happens because although I already created the routes file, the truth is that I haven't used this specific route file on the app.js file, on the web app. What that means is it seems like I created a route file over here. I created a controller file over here that implements the code from that the routes requires to run. I modify or refactor the content form in order to comply with the patch, you know. But the route is not going to work because this is not being used. I need to, let's close some of these folders. I need to open app.js, okay? And inside this file somewhere, I need to import the route file and then use it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this line. I'm going to paste it here. And instead of importing static content, you see, I should be importing content form route, basically. There we go. And I'm going to say this with another name, obviously. It's going to be called contact form router. You see? Contact form router. And that should be it. Now, I need to use this contact form router down here. Where is it? Let me see. There we go, here. So maybe I should just copy this, paste it down here. And let me think, because I may be making a mistake here. Let me think. Well, maybe I can do this yet because there is an static content router that's going to run first. What else is going to happen? Okay, that's going to run first. But this means that just need to start. Okay, what I'm going to do first is this. This I need to do anyway. To send the contact form router. Okay, but if I do this, the truth is that none of my routes are going to work because yeah, no, none of my routes are going to work. Let's try this, you know, leave it as, because the main difference is that these are going to be pose methods anyway, yet they need to start with a dash anyway. Why? Because I'm going to say this. Let's see if this runs. No, it's crashing, obviously. Okay, let's see what happened. Do we have more files? No. Okay, let's see what happened. Mm-hmm. Okay, it requires a middleware function, but got object. Okay, so let's see, static content router and contact form router. Routes, contact form. Let's see what contact form is actually here. What are you actually? I'm missing the last export here. That's what I was missing. This, you see, I wasn't exporting the actual router, so it's never going to export the router themselves. So that should be fixed. That should fix everything. There we go. It's actually running now. Okay. And I just refresh, but I wonder if that was enough. There we go. It actually just works. Let's see. That we refresh. Okay, so everything works. Wow, I am actually quite surprised because it's 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning with 32 minutes a.m. You know, so I am very sleepy right now. But never mind. I'm not that sleepy for what I see, so why not? I feel pretty good actually. I'm very sleepy. I was able to send a request that got hung up there for quite some time. Okay, so, and I got redirected back to inscripciones, which is the desired behavior, may I add. And so this line number 9, works perfectly. I was able to include the contact form router and use it down here, sharing the same path. But in this case, this route file is going to just manage the post methods for the contact form, basically. And with on the view, I'm going to choose during rendering if I want to either use the inscripciones action or the contacto action. And the post method is going to be applied, obviously. So there is no problem. And the controller is going to actually manage the process of sending the data. Now here, I may be able to basically, I want to refactor this because if you see here, I am basically just duplicating and copy pasting the exact middleware function here with just slight differences. Like I'm basically just redirecting to a different, it's basically the same middleware, yet with a different, with a, basically with a different redirect at the end. So I wonder if I may be able to refactor this entire thing and only make a simple call to some function or method maybe and basically execute all of this. Let me think. Yeah, that should be, I should be able to do that because I don't really like to have to modify 2 different emails that basically do the same thing. And that's one thing. Let me think. I think I know what can I do. Hmm. What I could do is down here create a new function outside the middleware function, you know? Hmm. No, it cannot be outside the function. Or maybe it does. The redirect seems to be the only thing that remains the different between the two exports. So that's the thing. Okay, let's go back to the website. So I was actually able to send an email from the inscription space. Let's try contacto now. And let's see. Okay. There must be a form tag. There we go. The action is contacto, the method is post. Okay, let's try again. And send. And it redirected me back to contacto. So I guess the desired behavior is there. Let's see the email. And there we go. I had the email here. You see? That's contacto. Okay, working as intended. Yet, uh, although I'm not happy with this, one thing I could try is creating a function called, let's say, send email. And this function could be, receiving a path attribute, I guess. And that should be the one thing that is going to send. So I no longer need the parentheses around path, Is path being used somewhere else? No. Okay, so this function should contain the entire, basically the entire content of this, for example. Let's say, so this is where it ends. Okay, so if I choose all this like this and cut it, I'm cutting everything here from the middleware in post contacto, and I'm going to insert all that code in here inside this new send email, and actually I don't need to do this. I don't need this. This is so stupid, but well, I could wait. Let me see what's the way to do it. I don't remember it. Can you believe that? It's basically like Java, the same as Java. It's function, the name of the function. Yet maybe I want to remain with that definition. Let me see. Function name and parameters. Function return, that's fine. Anonymous function maybe? I guess. It's function and then the name. of the function followed by the parameters. Okay. So here, function send mail is going to receive a path parameter. And now I do have a function now. The one thing is this path parameter must be called here. Instead of contacto, I should use path, which is going to be any at this point. So that's not the issue. So like this, I should be able to use a single file for the HTML code, so basically with this, now I should be able to use a single version of the truth instead of copy pasting everything. So how do I use this? Well, I already have the send email function, and I only need to send a parameter. In this case, it's going to be the text that contains dash contacto, because this is post contacto. And that's it. This is going to basically copy and paste this entire function there. You see, I'm going to call send email, and I'm going to pass it this, and it should work just the same for contacto. And that's it. So now I don't need this copy of the truth here. I can just, copy this. I guess if I want to do the same here, I could remove the entire content of this middleware function like this, see, and copy and paste the call to send email, but instead of using contacto, I should say the path should be inscripciones. I wonder if I write that the right way. Yes, I did, I think. So this is the difference. I'm using the same function, but I am redirecting to different places during runtime, Here, line 22 is going to redirect to a different page depending on what export I'm working on. In the end, the one truth that I have to modify for everybody is this one here, all of this. So in this case, Node should actually, the front end is never going to find out that I'm using a single function to render. So basically, the front end doesn't care. As long as I keep sending the email, they are happy. For me, as a backend developer, I can just modify this version of the truth, and I can apply this truth to everybody on the same venue or the same way, basically. I keeping this inside a controller file, which is going to, maybe this could be further. I wonder if this is going to work actually, because if I recall, I just read that. Let me see where I saw local variables, maybe why functions, local variables. Go here cannot use car name. Oh yeah, that's a thing. But not the other way around. Basically, if I define a variable here, I can actually use it as a global variable down here. There we go. So for example, this transporter constant here is going to contain a transport from node mailer. So this constant here is going to be used by the actual function here whenever they call to actually execute the function, Okay, everything is safe. So now the final test will be to see if I can send more emails. Send in email 1. Well, sending from dash contacto, and I should be redirected on this very same page. Let's try it. And no, something happened. Rec is not defined, so let me think. Rec is not defined. It seems to be a problem on line 20, column 41. At send email. The rec is not defined. It's not recognizing that. That's interesting. Let's see. 25, I believe, here. It seems like it doesn't know what that is. Yeah, it makes total sense. It doesn't actually know what this is. I would say that I just screw up a little bit there, but I think I can do something. Maybe if I, instead of making a simple function, maybe if I do an actual middleware function, you know, that could be, or I can refactor this code outside here. Oh no, but how am I going to redirect anything? That's the thing. So, well, let me think. Perhaps I actually need to pass down the request. At that point, this could be another middleware function or an anonymous function, which is going to get me back to that. So here, it doesn't know what rec is. So maybe I could actually pass it as a parameter. And now, request, I don't think that's appropriate. But let's try it. Let's pass request on the core, you know, because why not? So an email and sending the pad, I guess. Oh, the thing is, I need to pass a response too, because in order to redirect, I need to use the response object too. So we're getting back to, you know what? I am actually defining request response. Why not next? So this is actually going to become, how do you call it? This just becomes a middleware function with a name, you know, and extra steps. Okay, so I'm sending request and response and the path. Okay, so down here, the path, the request is going to be passed down and the response is going to be passed down. Let's copy all this. There we go. So what I'm doing now is allowing the function to actually use the request and the response objects inside this code, and that should fix it. There we go. It seems like it's working. There we go. Here. Let's try to send from contacto. Okay, it redirected me. Let's see. It got the data. It sent the email. And let's see here. There we go. And yeah, from contacto. That's just fine. I love it. Okay, what else? I may like to this was sent by an actual user, but it never got in because of this, for example. So maybe I should be, I'm going to copy this, I guess, or just copy the email address, and I'm going to make an actual example here. Let's see where's the, let's go to inscripciones, and let's insert the email here, you know. What else? The actual name of the person is, I guess it's this one. Why are you not, okay. Yes, I just want to copy the name. Okay, I guess. Oh my god, are you serious? Okay, never mind. Let's just copy all this and delete something, you know. Here. There we go. Did he left a phone number? No. But he uses the option 2. Let me make this a little bigger. There we go. He's using grid radius option 2, which means that he's using from here. He's not choosing this. He's using Casa de los Niños, basically the second option, and nothing else. And now we click send. It redirected me here. And now let's see. Here's the data. No phone number. Yet I should be able to receive an email here. Okay. I wonder if I can just refresh this with this. Oh, it refreshes automatically, but I didn't do anything. Okay, let's refresh the entire page, I guess. I don't think it did anything. It's supposed to be working. I just sent this from Contacto. Oh wait. This is from Contacto, okay. It's not, did it send something? It's not receiving anything new. Let's go back here. Oh wait, I think there we go, that's the email. Let's send again. I wonder if this actually sends something. It says it does. A setter for delivery. It received this data. It's not actually doing anything different. Just different data. Let's refresh. Now I am worried. It seems to be working when I was sending what changed? Just because this changed? Maybe it's because I'm sending from inscripciones, not contacto. Maybe that's what the difference is, but that doesn't really make too much sense. Let's see. The course is inscripciones. Okay. Let's see the contact form. Post inscripciones. Post inscripciones. This is the route. Post inscripciones. That's just fine. Doesn't make any changes. It says that the mail was accepted for delivery. And I can see the data here. Okay, let's see. Let's see the control file. Export post inscripciones. Everything seems to be working. Hmm. Maybe I just need to refresh. No. Let's try to send the email from the contact page. Something happened there. Okay, it redirected me. The same thing seems to be working. But I wonder. No. He's not sending the email. Why? Oh, wait. It's not that. No. Wait. What's this? No. I thought that maybe I wasn't receiving. No. Maybe I need to relog? I don't think so. It should be working just fine. I wonder if something changed. Hmm. Okay, let's think. What did I change? Nothing really. Let's use my own name, you know. It doesn't really matter. Let's see if I can receive that one. I can receive that one. So what's the issue then? I received this one. So what's the issue? What's the issue? This should be just the same. Doesn't make too much sense. And that's it. Oh wait, maybe this is the issue. Okay, this is the text. Oh wait, that's not going to run. That's not the issue. Space the name without the special characters. And then this. Wait, no special characters. There we go. There we go. Without the special characters. Send. Okay. Okay, this crash is normal because I just pasted the text directly there. Maybe I should not have done that. Never mind. It seems like it's ready for delivery. No. I have to be honest. I am a little bit worried that this is not going to work for some reason, not with all the different emails, and that's weird because it's actually working with my own email. Maybe the library node mailer is validating the email and it's not working properly. Maybe that's an issue. Okay. I know this email exists. Let's send the email. It says that was just the same, but I wonder if this is going to show. There we go. It's there. But not the... I'm not able to use that one. Why? Okay. Let's delete this. Actually, I'm going to delete a lot of my past tests. Maybe not the last one. Okay, so this is Cecilia, this is me, and this is Mr. Edgar Longares Acosta. I wonder if the email has something to do like this. Let's refresh. And actually, it's not saving this as an actual email. Maybe the iCloud. Let me try. I wonder. Okay. Node 2. So it seems like there is another problem. iCloud mail not receiving mails. Okay. I don't have any idea, but I guess it is really weird. Because this seems to be just fine. Maybe a phone number is missing. I don't think so. Refresh. Mm-mm. Mm. I wonder if there is an issue with the domain. Because I'm using Gmail for my examples. But it's true. What happens when... let's try iCloud.com. Oh God, I need an Apple ID. I don't think I have one. Mm. So let's see what happens if I made up this. And let's see if that's going to work. It actually works. I don't think this email actually exists. And it's working. That's weird. What happens if I use this? And no. No. It seems like if I try to use the iCloud, if I try to use the iCloud domain, it's not working. Ugh. Let's try something else then. Like Hotmail maybe. And I'm making up email accounts. Look at this. This works. Now this is weird. And I realized that this doesn't make too much sense if I'm going to be, you know. Mm. So maybe the domain is getting some issues here. Do I have a config file? Maybe here. I think this is stupid, but I guess fine. No, I should not be able to need this. Mm. No. Hmm. I cannot explain why I'm not receiving the email. It's really weird. Maybe I need to just type it down because okay, let's try to type it. Let's see, what's your name, mister? Hmm. Well, here's the name. Okay. Doesn't seem to be working. Perhaps there is an issue with the actual domain of the email that is being used. I wonder what the, maybe it's validating the from email, and if it's not existing, maybe if I try to hello, no human. Mm-hmm. I'm going to verify the email because probably it is not actually a natural email. Maybe. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like it does exist. Hmm. Wow, 22 years. Okay. But the thing is, I'm not receiving the email from that one. That's really weird. Oh well, maybe I do get a ban from that. Which is stupid because here, mm, well, I guess this is an edge case that I should work later because I'm very sleepy right now. Well, and never mind, I guess I am able to make this work for the most part. But if I try to demo this, I may like to know why I cannot receive email from iCloud.com. Well, I am assuming that's the reason because it's coming from a specific domain, and maybe Apple does apply some restrictions on how to use their own remittance, you know. Well, I think that should be all for now, and later I should continue with this. But first, I'm just going to okay commit everything, you know. Okay, next. You should be named like this. Content for routes and static content routes. Here, and basically this is the same thing, I believe. No. I'm basically refactoring the view. Wow, this is just fine. Something else that I want to do will be this, maybe. Yeah, I need to do. I wonder what happens here, but I guess I'm going to find out tomorrow. Maybe Apple is implementing restrictions on how to actually because I'm not sending the email from the client from Apple, so maybe that's the issue. I don't know. Well, I'm going to get to sleep a little bit, and maybe I should upload, push everything. There we go. Everything is on the cloud now. Well, see you later today.